Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This is going to be another one where I'm recording this live on Twitch. So we're going to be doing a feud prep video with some Q&A from people that happen to be watching the stream. And then I'll upload it to YouTube afterwards. So I'm going to kind of go through it, and then we'll have some questions. And this time I will read the questions so that you all don't only hear one half of the conversation. So first thing, I do not have all the perks you see on my screen. I only have one perk for this feud, and that is the MP up that you see on the bottom left corner. The other ones are just there to talk about for your reference and stuff. This feud in particular, at least for me, if you look at the bottom lane bonuses with double finishers, I have three really big hitters, and Tech Cena's bleed is going to be massive. So with that, I'm not really worried about other rosters, since I'll just most likely be turn oneing everything most of the time. So the other perks to me are a waste of coin. Now some caveats or exceptions to that. Let's say your best guy happens to be a sub guy or a bleed guy, or a combination, like say maybe the Fiend. If he's your best guy, then maybe you go and level up the all color submissions one with the bleed, and that makes sense for you. Or let's say your best is Acrobat Shelton. Well, now you can get more Pyro Snowfall gems with this one, and that's going to make him really good. Or maybe it's Trickster Snoop. Now you're making even more Pyro gems. So in that case, that would make sense. I honestly don't see much of a reason to run MP down. It's expensive, and if you're killing fast, it's kind of just a waste of coin in my opinion. So I don't really see a reason to get that one personally. If you want to, that's completely okay, but I wouldn't recommend it. And the Power Gems one is pretty situational, at least at this point with the line bonuses and stuff. I don't think that that would probably be worth it to me either. So I would stay away from those two completely. Again, your choice, but they don't make a lot of sense to me. So I think that kind of covers the perks. Like I said, I'm only going with one. Minimum for this feud is 5, so you do need to have at least 5. The line bonuses are pretty great. I won't talk too much about the top one because a lot of people aren't going to have the Miz, and it doesn't make a lot of sense to spend a ton of time on it. Obviously, if you get the Miz, fill the top line bonus with whoever's going to work best for you there, because it's going to buff your war score. 100% damage to yellow gems. That's a turn one person. I can't think of a ton that's going to benefit like huge. But guys like Adam Cole, that would be super good on. He would hit really hard turn two. Potentially APA JBL, his finisher with the damage per yellow gem, that would be really good on. Not if for some reason Slick Rick is your best card, and if he is, I'm sorry. That would be really great bonus for him if he's your best card. But yeah, that's about all I can really think of for the top line buffing in particular. So like if it was me, I would just throw Batista up there for the war score bonus, or Drew, you know, that kind of thing. But anyway, that covers the top one. There are some bonus matches. Oh yeah, probably would help Mutant Cena too. That's a good call. The bonus matches, if you have Snoop Dogg, you can get 1,000,000 extra war score points. These are big, actually. They add up to a lot. Actually, let me go here to the war score competition while we talk about this, because there's some pretty important milestones. Oops. It would help if I could click the buttons right, though, huh? Okay, so 10 million gets you the last one of whatever these things are that everyone seems to think is 5-star gold tokens. I kind of don't think it is. In fact, I don't think it is, but we'll see. I could easily be wrong. It wouldn't be the first or the last time. So 10 million is the mark that I want to for sure get to. After that, you're missing out on a skill plate at 20 million, and you can see the bags at 13 and 16 million. But 10 million, certainly want to get to. After that, if you can't get to 10 million, at least get to this milestone to get all your solo points. So that kind of covers the milestones. I'm going to shoot for at least 10 million. This looks like a fun feud, so, you know, maybe I'll have a shot at doing 20 million. Who knows? That's a lot, though, without buying steps, and I'm not going to buy steps. So I think that covers that just fine, and you can see the bonus matches up there. I plan on knocking out all those bonus matches, and thank you, game, for crashing. That's fantastic. So the other line bonuses, let's talk about the bottom one. That one in particular is amazing for anyone with big finishers. So your Batistas, your Fords, your Dawkins, Zombie Brian, any of those guys with really, really big finishers, that's going to be a great line for. It can be good for Earthquake too, if you run his finisher build. If Earthquake's your best with gear. Let's get back in here. I happen to like the middle lane more for Earthquake though. It's pretty good for Texina because of the bleed. So you could start like double green with the sub if you wanted, or you could do 2 red MP trainers and start with the red moves charged no matter what, but that'll double his bleed, so it's pretty good for him. This slot is wide open, and this one is modern era. So you're going to be able to have a lot of options. It's a really good line for Fiend with the bleed and stuff, 200% bleed, so I would expect to see him too. But your big hitters like this kind of stuff, and with open slots, you can kind of work anything out in there. I wouldn't be surprised if you saw a lot of HBK, because he's pretty good. 123 Kid is another one that'll be really good, just in general. You could probably run Otis too with his finisher and get some pretty good damage in there if you're someone with Otis ramped up. His finisher isn't terrible, plus you're making all the yellow gems and have some protects on there, so Otis could be a good one too. But yeah, look for your guys with big finishers to fill this bottom line, or with big bleeds. That's going to be where you want to go. Middle line is pretty interesting. So if I had JBL, I would go with Sika, because that would be pretty fun for him. Line bonus applies to the base, Savage Cabbage. So the question was asked, does the line bonus apply to base move damage or strapped up? It's the base. So if you have some of the more rare guys, Zombie Black, obviously this is a really good lane for. Demon King Balor would also be really good on the bottom too. So middle one, +3 charge to red moves is pretty nice. After I knock my Snoop matches out, I'll probably run Earthquake there, because you're getting the extra blast gems and the extra red. So it's a good line for Earthquake with that setup. Just because I know I'm going to be using my trainers other ways, but this will get all of his moves ready turn 1. So not a bad line for Earthquake at all. And getting those red moves charged 3 faster, this would probably be a pretty good line for Walter. I don't have my Walter 5-star. Maybe some of you guys with Walter up might talk about if this would be a good lane bonus for Walter. I feel like with +3 charge to red, it would probably be a really good one for Walter. I'm told Hall of Fame Hogan, but, you know, I don't really know how many people have him. We'll just go with this would be good for Hall of Fame Hogan. How about regular Hogan? +3 red, charge to red. Does that help regular Hogan? I don't have him either, so. But yeah, so for me, this is a much bigger lineup than I'm going. You normally go, because it's a good setup. If you don't have a really strong team, I would not recommend going 100,000 roster. Probably try to stay around like 50 or 60K and that sort of thing. Middle lane should be really good for Powerhouse Hogan too. But yeah, if you don't have a big roster, pick your biggest finisher guy, fill the bottom one. Try not to go too big. and that should help a lot. It it should be good for Trickster Hogan too, right? Doesn't he run? Doesn't he have a red move to get him started too? I don't know. We might get into that later. Again, I don't have the Hogan, so. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at. You want to take advantage of the line bonuses. Blast Gem's a pretty good one. So, I mean, you could potentially. I don't really like that build comparatively for Alpha, but he has a Blast Gem build too. I think the other one is going to be better. But if we wanted to look at it, both reds would be ready turn 1. And you would be making 8 black gems into blast gems, and you'd be destroying 5. So you could go that route. But I wouldn't. I'd still take advantage of his black gem damage move setup, but that's a possibility too. I think Kane with gear would be would be viable in this middle line too. That wouldn't be bad if Kane with gear is one of your better guys. That could be pretty doable actually. Let's take a look. Yeah, that could easily work. Kane with gear, absolutely. So I think that kind of covers most of what I have to say about it. Goldberg, you could maybe use Goldberg. The question was asked Goldberg with gear. Keep in mind that if someone gets the MP reduction, it's also going to decrease your color gem. But yeah, I like Sika on this row too a lot. I wish I had JBL Showboat, because I would run Sika for sure. I might run him anyway just to mess around with him. Because it's a great line bonus for him even without JBL running the blasts and stuff, so like that. So yeah, we'll take some questions from chat, talk about what other people are going to run. It looks like Bear Slayer said, could you use Skull King for this feud? If he's your best guy, you certainly could use him. I don't know that any of the line bonuses necessarily benefit him a ton. But yeah, absolutely. You could use him. And again, just to cover all of the bonus points, any Viking Raider, Drew McIntyre, any Triple H, and Snoop Dogg, you want to get those knocked out. Godflow said, why should people avoid using Zombie Triple H? The big reason would be all the people that tend to get MP down. It's going to reduce his gem generation down a lot. So yeah, that's not going to be too fun for him. You won't be choosing very many, and that's going to make it really hard to recycle his moves. So I would stay away from him, other than maybe 30 is a lot of matches. In fact, I probably won't even mess with the Triple H matches unless I use it on fodder. But you could run him double red because he's got the 2 chooses. But again, you're not choosing a lot. But I might do that to knock out the bonus matches, but that's about it. Ooh, Zandal said, how about Zombie Roman with Bleed? Zombie Roman with Bleed would be great. In the bottom line, you're going to buff his finisher with the Protect Gem, and you're going to buff his Bleed. So absolutely, that would be a good one to use, Zandal, 100%. Mr. McLovin says, Alpha, Sika, Eric, middle lane, Tech Drew, Tech Cena, Zombie Brian, and Fodder Shane O'Mac. 2 perks maxed out, 1 level 6. So he's got a lot of perks. Okay, right on. That's a really good lineup, McLovin. Stugatz is going to rely heavily on 1, 2, 3 Kid, Ford, and Cena. That makes sense. Oh, yeah, I can... if I was going to run Otis... I would run him on the bottom line, probably with this setup to take advantage of the finisher in a tier 5 percentage metal. With heavy machinery. Uh, Priest, Damian Priest in the bottom line with the bleed and finisher damage. He's going to hit really hard. So absolutely, that would be viable. I still always have the same concerns with Priest, is that he's got high charge moves and big areas, so he tends to pin. Although he'll win turn two for sure if you pin anyway. But that is my only concern with Priest, is that he sometimes likes to pin. But absolutely a fantastic line bonus for him. Godflow asks, am I afraid of people hiding Mutant Cesaro in their lineups? Do you mean as a coach, Godflow? I'm assuming you mean as a coach. Not really, because it's only on one particular guy. And that I would have to worry about him. It would be Zombie Brian. And I can always check if I want. So it's not that hard to click and see who they have for their coaches. So since I can read, I'm not too worried about it. I could see a scenario where some people, it bothers if you're chasing leaderboards and you're trying to go as fast as you can. But that's kind of why I like those coaches, to be honest. It puts a little more strategy into it. You can't just use one card over and over and you have to look. But yeah, if you can read, you can play around the Cesaro thing. To your point, I will be using Cesaro on Alpha. Since Alpha is generally a turn 2 big boomer, I will run him Zombie Triple H and Cesaro and hunt anyone with purple and green moves. If you can't read, then I see Cesaro being a problem as a coach. Absolutely. Recognize is going to do a bottom line with Batista, Montez, Drew, and Demon Finn. That is really nasty, Recognize. Really, really nasty. Savage Cabbage said, I don't have any Drew or Viking Raiders. Can't fill any line, so this is going to be a nightmare for me. Yes, it is, sir. I am sorry. For you and people in your situation, I would 100% recommend staying as small as possible. 5 is the minimum. Use your best guy in like 3 or 4 fodder and just try to get what you can. That's going to be really rough. Mule asked, he said he's got Tech Drew and Sako at 4s, and he's leaning towards Drew first. My thoughts? Yes, I can answer that pretty easily. My Sako is 5-star bronze and my Drew is 5-star silver. That being said, I have Orton for Showdown Defense, so Drew is an easy call for me. PGH Slim said, with line bonus, consider Honky Tonk Man over Big E on Batista, assuming you have 133% armor medal for him. Yeah, I could see that if you're running double armor in particular, for sure. Or if you're running a half and half hybrid mix because your metal happens to be on something other than armor. I could see that for sure. PGH, it also depends too, if you're going to do that. If you don't have a big move damage coach in the off spot, like if you don't have a Gooker or a Rude, double up on the gem defensive trainers. So, you know, if you're seeing a lot of powerhouse like Keith Lee and Zombie Brian, make sure you put Robo Cena on there for reds. And then black tends to be another good one. You run into a lot of black users. So put that on there, which is Zombie Asuka. So that can absolutely be done. Let's see. What I'm trying not to miss anyone. Okay. Oh yeah, Boogeyman would be crazy in the middle row. Absolutely nuts. I got a buddy that's got Boogeyman, and he's talking about 1.8 million turn 1. I think is what he was saying with the sub perk. So if you have Boogeyman, throw him in the middle lane, and in that case, I 100% would recommend getting the submission bleed perk. Absolutely. Let's see. Hansen said Ford bleed setup or big finisher. I personally would go with the big finisher because you're going to double up on it, and I just don't see anyone really kicking out. And So that's the way I would go. I would go with the big finisher. Godflow says his lineup is Batista, Drew, Zombie Black, Mutant Finn, then Dawkins, and Hall of Fame Hogan. Drew is the only one under 1.5 million turn one. And he won't be by too much, Godflow. He should do probably like, if he's 5-star, is yours 5-star silver? If he's 5-star silver, he should get close to that with the bonus. Shu asks, how hard does Batista finisher hit without the strap? That depends on which trainers and coaches you have. The strap definitely helps. If you have Mutant Finn, you don't need a strap. If you don't have Mutant Finn, his base is, you can see what, here, let's oops. This will show without you're gonna hit for right around 300k without a strap, assuming that you only have a 45%er, and that's more than it sounds like because he throws out all the heal gems. He's still certainly usable, but yeah. Retro IC Gaming says, show us a lineup that'll make people take ages to finish and use more hit points than they want. Do you mean offensively or defensively? Psycho Neanderthal asks, is the fill bonus only the characters on that row or the entire lineup? It's only the characters on that row. Brygab's going to run 5-star silver DX Army HBK, 4K Eric, 5-star silver Dragon, 5-star bronze Earthquake, Batista, and 5-star silver Zombie Triple H Bleed Sub, and then Sacco and Powerhouse Drew. Swaggy on the bottom line is running Fiend, Lashley, Tech Drew, Hall of Fame Rude. Yeah, that's a good bottom row. Lashley's got some really, like, if I was using Lashley, that sub would be really good on him too. Lashley's not bad at all. The sub perk would be good on him as well. If you wanted to buy the power gem perk, Rocky Johnson and Orton, and would be really good. It's really situational for me. And with Feud, like Showdown, I don't buy perks anymore. I just get the 2 free ones. And with Feud, I try to do the bare minimum and put that coin into my roster. So Beast Mode, this is going to be a crazy lineup. He's running Hall of Fame Hogan, Ivar, Rocky Johnson, Boogeyman, Batista, Priest, Ford, and Drew. Spent a grip on perks, though. Yeah, that'll be crazy, though, lineup for sure with the right perks. A defensive one, Retro? Okay, so Retro, the one he was asking about, a lineup that'll make a bunch of people use a lot of health packs. So if you want them to use a bunch of health packs, any of your high move damage guys, if you put Cesaro on and they don't check, they're going to run into that for sure. And guys that can kick out, so like Alpha with a big gem damage will kick out really easy, and he can get hit really hard turn 2. That could potentially hurt him a bunch. If you were to put like a zombie Roman, so Batista has a shot at kicking out, although with the big finishers he's not gonna because he's a showboat. But maybe zombie Roman on like a zombie Bryan or a Keith Lee so they can kick out would put a hurting on people. But right now, if you had Miz for some reason and you had a maxed, he would do it. JBL, you could put his kick out on him, showboat JBL. Anyone with kick out, Rock, Mem Rock, and then just make sure the kick out was loaded would be annoying. Yeah, Beast Mode, Showdown perks are definitely a waste. So we've went about 25 minutes on here. I might about... Oh, Luke would be really good on the bottom lane too. Yeah, that's a good call. Luke would definitely be a good one if you have Luke. Skako Blue's gonna run middle fodder Eric, Alpha, and then Zombie Triple H or Quake, and maybe Acro Sean somewhere too. His bottom line's Batista, Zombie Brian, Tech Drew, and Tech Cena. Pretty much the exact same one as me, Scott, on the bottom. Very nice. So I think that'll about cover it for the YouTube video. I think there's a lot of good information there. I don't want this to go too long. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments. I really like hearing what you think. Let me know if you like this format with the questions. It definitely helps me because it's really hard to remember everyone for Feud. So really interested to hear what you guys think. And remember to like, subscribe, and share as that really helps me out. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching and good luck in Feud this weekend.